Okay, so the other day I was asked a pretty profound question. I've been asked this question before, and I've talked about this before in the past, but for some reason, this question hit me different than it usually does. A person came up to me when we were doing the showers for the homeless and said, "Hey, I have a question for you, and it's about my sister." So this individual told me that their sister had a horrible disease that eventually they were going to die from. And the question was why would God let that happen? Because this person's sister was a good person. And this individual went on and explained that my sister is a much better person than I am, therefore she is a good person. So the question I was left to ask this person was, what is your measuring stick that you're using for your measurement of good? And he was kind of shocked, and he kind of like looked back at me and he said, what do you mean by that? What do you mean, what is my measurement? And I told him, I said, you just told me that compared to yourself, your sister is a good person. And why would God let this disease happen to her, right? He confirmed. But here's the kicker. It's easy for us to say, hey, I'm a good person, therefore God should let nothing bad happen to me. Here's where we get into it a little bit. If there is a God, then that God would have to use himself as a measurement. In other words, God would require, if there is a God, would require moral perfection. So when God looks at us, he requires moral perfection. Not just how good you are compared to somebody else, it's how good you are compared to him. So there seems to be two very different playing fields here. When I look at somebody and I say, well, that person is a good person compared to me. But if I look at how good that person is compared to God, now the scales seem to tip the other way. Now, if we re-examine this individual's question with the new information in mind, we must logically conclude that no bad thing happens to really a good person, because we, compared to God's measurement, are not good people. We are very flawed. And another thing to this same issue is that Jesus didn't promise us that life would be a bed of roses if we were Christians. Jesus actually promised the opposite. He promised that we would have heartbreak, and he promised that we would have troubles. And more specifically, he said that we would find sorrows from this earth. So my question to you is, do you agree with my assessment? Do you agree with my thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. I'll see you guys on the next one. See ya!